Excited to talk to folks here specifically about Proformex for advisors and agents. If you're in distribution or with a BGA or a financial institution, you may learn something, but we'll be happy to have a different type of conversation with you. This is particularly about how agents and advisors are really simplifying their back-end processes and things that once a policy goes in force or is placed, how they're able to manage it through Proformex and seeing success with it. And so with that, what we're going to cover today are these four particular pillars, if you will. So what is Proformex? For those that don't know, initiate some of you to what the platform does. We'll then talk through how you can actually use Proformex and why you in particular you should use Proformex. Then we're going to actually talk about how advisors are leveraging the information and functionality that we provide. And how they're seeing success in protecting their clients, protecting their relationships, generating additional revenue, and ultimately putting some technology in a back-end process that we feel has been lacking for far too long. So with that, what is Proformex holistically, as well as the software itself? We are a life and annuity platform. We're a data and technology company that is really creating unique visibility into critical information about agents and advisors' business. And ultimately, what we're trying to do is bridge the data gap that started to really appear when folks went independent, trying to offer their clients the best possible products out there, regardless of carrier. And so how can we help them, you all, build stronger, smarter, and more beneficial relationships? And so what does our platform look like that we built? 3 million plus life insurance policies we're monitoring, 1 million plus annuity contracts, hundreds of thousands of unique advisors, trillions in death benefit, billions in premium production, billions in annuity contract value. The scale is utterly massive. And because of this and what we've been able to accomplish, we are trusted by some of the biggest names in the industry, right? All the way from Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, LPL, Goldman Sachs, those folks, to distribution of Highland, Ash, Vanbridge, Capitus, and some of the other names you see here. And then all the way down to, if it's looking at it like a funnel or a pyramid, right? All the way down to the individual advisors, mom and pop shops, just on the side of the road, they're leveraging us. And so we're really trusted across not just the ecosystem from the top, but also from the bottom on up. And so what does this mean, or what do we really offer to folks with our software and the data platform that we built? It is a single platform for any place insurance. We're helping you to visualize that information, helping folks get regularly updated data and information, which is obviously a struggle within this industry sometimes. And then we're also helping identify where there may be risks or opportunities to have conversations with folks, and subsequently alerts, notifications directly inside the platform, as well as to your email when things need to happen. And then not just having that information, but how do you present that to clients? How do you have that conversation in terms of your policy is doing well, your annuity is right on track, all the way down to, hey, this policy you bought 20 plus years ago, a little off the rails, let's have a conversation. We help make that easy. And so how do you use Proformex? And then subsequently, why should you use Proformex? Really lump these into two because they go hand in hand. And so I wanted to start from the beginning, because if you're going to get started, you ultimately fall into one of two use cases if you're an agent or advisor that comes and talks to Proformex. And so begins through obviously the pre-sales process and vetting and understanding your use cases, but ultimately you sign up and you begin onboarding by providing data to our customer success team. This customer success team, they are living, breathing human beings. No AI or anything on that front yet. You're going to have a human being that you're able to talk to and work with in terms of getting onboarded and set up in Proformex. And then it ultimately boils down to, is your upline BGA or distribution partner a part of the Proformex ecosystem we were talking about? If they are, you are going to get the benefit of data feeds, which is really quite exciting and one of the things that a lot of folks leverage us for in the first place. And that is ultimately we get data feeds through distribution partners and subsequently the carriers. And if you all are on the system and we have this connectivity with all the things that we have in place, we're able to feed that information down from your distribution partners into your platform. And so you're going to get updated pieces of information such as policy status, in force, lapse pending, et cetera, from that standpoint. Cash values, surrender values, coverage conversion end dates, product names, all this stuff feeding on a regular basis is what happens if your upline BGA is a part of our ecosystem. Really connected data that has never been seen within this industry before, specifically on insurance and annuities. Now, if your upline BGA is not a part of the Proformex ecosystem, there's no data feeds and there's no reason to worry about that because we've developed a system and a routine and a practice where you can get information from the carriers, but by automating some other tasks and letters and things so that you can receive updated statements and illustrations on a regular basis. And quite frankly, we also have folks that are connected as part of the ecosystem that are getting those data feeds. They still leverage this ordering process as well. And so once we know this and have a clear picture, the team onboards the data. You are going to be trained on how best to use the system. Of course, we have user guides and things for you to read and look at, but there's someone that's with you every step of the way until you go live in your system. We talk through that we have an ordering process in terms of getting you statements and illustrations so you have the most up-to-date and full picture of a policy's health or a contract's health. And then we're there for you. We have continued support, whether that's calling in, whether that is leveraging our vast array of health articles and whatnot, all available, and ultimately why we have so many successful customers. And so why ultimately should you use Proformex? You're saying, Max, that's all well and good. Fantastic. Why ultimately, what's the value? Why should I use Proformex? Well, it comes down to these four core things here. Ultimately, doing this, you're going to reduce risk and protect clients. You're going to have better visibility, smarter insights. You're going to have a proactive type of relationship and all the different client reporting tools. Ultimately, the value, you are reducing risk in your business. It could lead to future AUM, cross-sells, upsells, referrals, et cetera. But it boils down to you protect the client. It can help you grow your business. You can unlock new sales from your current book. You can activate, if you're with a larger firm, and activate advisor sales across the network. As mentioned, the conversions, the upsells, the cross-sells that come from it. Even new annuity sales, right? Post-surrender, age-based milestones that you can trigger, have alerts sent to you, so that way you can ultimately grow the business. You can also, as I mentioned before, protect future AUM. A way to really think about this is current death benefit is next generation assets under management. A lot of advisors, right? You don't just want to have the current insured as a client. You want the next generation. You want them doing wealth planning. And ultimately, where's that money? Where's that death benefit? Where's it going to funnel down to? They can be clients as well. So you're protecting policies from lapsing. That can protect future AUM. And you can turn a once dead asset into a business builder. And ultimately, none of this is possible without unifying life and annuity data. A lot of people have not had that before. And then when you add on top of it the actionable intelligence, the insights, the risk and opportunity intel, alerts, notifications, impact reporting, all of that becomes possible when you start leveraging Proformex to its full potential. So again, you're like, I got the value. I get it. I understand what you do. How are others using it? That's always a question that I get asked when talking with prospects and folks in the industry is, how are others using it? I don't want to be the first, but I don't want to be the last. How can I be sure that what you are telling me to do actually works? Well, I've assembled a handful of case studies and use cases here that talk through that and how others are using it. So first and foremost, this one has to do with more of a high value opportunity. A lot of our customers have what they like to dub A clients, B clients, C clients, and on the way down. And with their A clients, they may take a bit more care, special attention, a few more additional services. And One of them being, in this case, an advisor was wanting to make sure that none of the policies were entering or going to enter a MEC status, right? This is not something that carriers just alert you to regularly or shoot you off a note that says, hey, FYI, in 30 days you pay this premium. Like it's going to fail all those MEC stress tests and it's going to go into this status. It's going to turn into a modified endowment contract. Well, what we ended up doing was leverage our custom reporting inside the platform to slice and dice the book of business to get to a handful of policies that, hey, this could potentially get to a MEC status based on what we are seeing in terms of percentages of cash value to the death benefit, as well as how long the policy had been in force for. And what it ultimately led to were a handful of policies that we were keeping an extra eye on. The advisor made sure to order via the system statements and illustrations, sending a letter to the carrier asking for the respective statement and as is in force illustration. And when they got it back, they loaded it into Proformex. And based on the values of what they saw, it was in a MEC status, this particular policy, 9 million in death benefit, 4 million in cash value. And so the client ended up having, or the advisor, had a conversation with the client. The advisor presented information leveraging our tools to the client, and they ended up issuing a new guaranteed life policy, increased the death benefit, made a 1035 exchange with a $4 million single premium payment. And ultimately, not only was this hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue to the advisor and the firm, but it better protected the client, which is ultimately our ethos at the end of the day. And subsequently, a fun aside from this is we also saw that the advisor, when having a conversation with the client, not only was the client obviously very grateful with the tax implications, but it turned out that with a previous advisor, he had done the similar strategy, a similar policy with his brother. And again, go figure, that policy was in a MEC status. So it led to not only this one transaction, but another transaction and a lifelong customer client, I should say, because of it. So will this happen every time? No. But having the visibility, having the tools at your fingertips, as well as the guidance and the knowledge on how to action this, that's what Proformex can offer. And this is one way folks with those high value policies are leveraging Proformex. Now, a second one has to do with making sure the right information gets into your hands at the right time. And so ultimately, what happened here is we had an advisor set up notifications. They said, let me know anytime a policy that is connected with one of my upline distribution partners falls into a lapse pending status, right? So it's still in force, but it's pending lapse and it's in that grace period. And let me know when it's been in that status for longer than 7 days. Because if it happens, if it's within that 1 to 7 day window, no one has a grace period that's short. And when it falls after that, that's the moment I want to take to reach out and say, hey, FYI. Now, you may get grace notices currently, but it comes via snail mail. You may have people reaching out, but ultimately, who are you going to trust and who's it going to fall back on if that policy truly slips through the cracks? The agent and advisor with that relationship. So turn on the notifications. They receive an alert directly from the platform saying policy number 12345 is in a lapse pending status, and you get that notification. You have workflows and things where you can subsequently reach out to your client and have that conversation. Real life example of this, a policy went into a lapse pending status. Advisor reaches out to the client. Not only was that policy saved, it led to a further conversation in terms of the type of covers that they need. The policy was issued, I think this one in particular that I'm thinking of was like 11, 12 years ago. Their life situation had changed. They needed more coverage. They were making more money. More people were counting on that. And so not this single notification led to all of these events. You can see how those stack up over the course of a year. And again, that's just the last pending example. You can set these up on anything within our custom reporting chassis, anything from birthdays, anniversary dates. The second a policy has the cash value equal to the surrender value. The second a policy turns 15 years old, whatever it may be, actionable insights, actionable information for you to manage risk and also protect assets. And then really another one that we saw had to do with a large advisor firm, only one staff member. So a lot of people are like, oh my God, am I going to need a ton of people to manage this? No, just one to keep an eye on it, really. They had thousands of policies. They were more of this document connected platform, right? So they weren't necessarily just data feeds. They were also ordering statements and illustrations, but they leveraged our platform and custom reporting to ultimately run a campaign. Alerted to level term periods coming to an end. They wanted specific age brackets and underwriting classes, and then we subsequently work with the advisors and the team there on opportunities based on the need and situation. And so, what did this lead to? 88 conversations were held, millions in death benefit protected, as well as a nice chunk of change in terms of target premium that was generated for the firm. All from a simple term campaign, leveraging the tools available with our base platform in Proformex, that ultimately led to all these great outcomes. And I'll also talk here, one of the key things that we've done is really simplify the information you're presenting. We know not everyone is an insurance expert, especially clients. They understand it's something that they need. It's something that they want to protect. They understand the tax benefits and the ramifications around the coverages that they purchase or buy. But how do you take the information that was already foreign to them back then? They haven't learned anything more about to this day. How do you convey that information in a way that is going to lead to some simplified conversations? That is with our policy or contract snapshot and or our review and or our book of business reports. All of these are very quick, easy to set up, leverage again and again. And ultimately what it does, you have the simplified deliverable. It's creating engagement with this ease of information. You're able to confirm beneficiaries and ultimately start this conversation. And so when you have this unified view of data, all in one place, you have information regularly updated through whatever means Proformex can get and provide to you. It ultimately leads to not only this single view, but the ability to have all of these conversations proactively instead of reactively, and in a time frame, in a manner that's not overwhelming, it's not burdensome, it is easy and simple to use and leverage. And that's why Proformex is seeing the success we're seeing today. So with all that being said, you're probably like, that is amazing. I get it all. Now what? Well, the best way to know if Proformex is right for you, as well as the use case and how it would tie into your business, is to set up a conversation with our team. We have, if you sign up for a demo and a conversation with our team, we'll ask some probing questions, try some preliminary questions just to understand which use case, where do you fit in? And then we'll tailor a demo specific to what you have told us. And also all of our experiences and having done this for years to understand, okay, you are this type of customer. I can proxy you to one we already have. This is how you're going to use the platform. This is how it's going to work for you. So should you want to learn more, let's set up a demo. We'll talk use case, what kind of prospect you are, and how your particular instance of Proformex will work for you. So appreciate you taking the time to learn more and being interested in all that we have to offer. That is my email right there, posner@proformex.com. Feel free to reach out. I'm sure we'll be sending some marketing communication out afterwards as well. But we'd love to get you set up with a one-on-one demo. Seeing is truly believing, so don't hesitate to reach out. It can be as little as 15 minutes. So we can better understand, again, use case, how you will use, and you'll really quickly know, yep, this is for me, or you know what, nope, not quite there yet. But again, appreciate everyone's time. Claudia, I'm going to turn it back over to you, but thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with everyone today.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Max. And like you said, we will be sending some marketing communications just as a follow-up, a link to the recording, all that good stuff. So please reach back out to us if you have further questions. But otherwise, thanks for joining today and have a great rest of your day.